The trifecta, a formula usually consisting of three popular characters in the fictional universe that automatically draws the attention of the audience. From Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji, Dante, Virgil, and Nero, Blossom, Buttercup, Bubbles. You get the point. When it comes to Berserk, the characters that come to mind, of course, are Guts, Griffith, and Casca. Like most fictional titles in popular media, the three main characters usually take center stage, and rarely do people like to look and or pay attention to the others. The character is not so well focused in the same universe. Yet, they've contributed so much to unfortunately be looked over by the audience. This tends to happen due to the author not developing them enough, or only utilizing them to prop the main character, who usually is part of the trifecta in order to progress the plot. Such an example would be a character like Judeau, or properly pronounced, Jude. Yo. The first time we meet Judeau is in the Golden Age chapter 4, carving a piece of wood with one of his throwing knives as he overlooks Corcus' stupidity, rallying up some of the Hawks to try and ambush a lone Guts. Followed by, in chapter 5, once Guts was defeated by Griffith and awoke from his fatal wound, it was Judeau who informed Guts about Casca. In spite of her striking him in his wound and being vexed, Guts relinquished his anger from Judeau's words, understanding it was her warmth that saved his life, leading Guts to thanking Casca in the next chapter, after stopping Corcus for trying to ambush him again, after sustaining more injuries from his 1v1 with Griffith. A pivotal moment that was cut out of any animated adaptation. Judeau is a calm-mannered individual, calculating, well-traveled, informed, and is extremely detail-oriented. This is evident throughout the time we encounter his character in the Golden Age, before and during the eclipse. In this scene, we get a taste of his craftsmanship and a small display of his marksmanship, throwing his knife into a bucket right above the hands of a fellow member of the Hawk as he tries to take a bath. This expert skill, which has been honed from years of being part of a traveling performance troupe as a child, has become an asset that aided him in the band overall from time and time again. We see him using these knives in crucial moments of the story. In the following chapter, as the band proceeds to cross the river, as part of a camouflage attempt by Griffith to ambush the enemy camp. The camp of the same mercenaries that Guts previously fought on the side of, which led to him defeating Bakuzo. Judeau is in front as a scout, on the lookout for unsuspecting enemies and stragglers. Peeping a lone enemy soldier coming to gather water in the river, he signals the band to stop, and with deadly accuracy, darts one of his knives into the lone soldier's neck, dropping him instantly. This sends an instant shock to Guts, as he witnesses a skill he thought in the previous chapter was a meaningless attempt at a scare tactic, to be a well-honed deadly weapon in the hands of an expert killer like Judeau. We see this again when infiltrating Wyndham to rescue Griffith, as he expertly takes out two guards at the Tower of Rebirth. Again, where he devises a plan to take out the Bakiraka assassin that was darting javelins at the rescue team by hand, combining his intellect and skill to adapt to the situation, embedding two knives into the enemy's neck. Lastly, of course, to save Casca from a pursuing apostle. This very same skill he ended up teaching Guts over 3 years as a member of the Hawks. A skill we've come to notice Guts using till this day as the Black Swordsman. Not only is he an expert marksman, but a deadly close quarters combatant. Judeau is one of the few characters in the Berserk universe that dual wields, and at that, 2 short swords in battle. Only 2 other prominent characters we see who dual wield are Salat and Ishidro. From conflict to conflict, we get great examples of him making short work of his opponents. All of these combat and performance skills making him the ultimate jack of all trades. Although his combat skills make him an invaluable chess piece in war, none of them would be a factor if not for his mind. Most notably his wealth of knowledge, which guided the war situation to the Hawk's advantage. As with most military powers throughout history and fantasy, we've learned that war is fought on many fronts, from aerial, biological, electronic, psychological, guerrilla, and many more. All cannot be achieved without gaining some form of intelligence. This is where Judeau came in for the Band of the Hawk. If you've only watched the anime and the Golden Age arc films, you've only received a fraction of Judeau's importance to the development of Guts and the Golden Age arc overall. Miura has used Judeau's character like a walking archive and narrator for 70% of what the reader should know. In almost every conflict, it's been Judeau who informed everyone what is happening and whom they are up against. When a scout reported to Griffith that the enemy has a warrior who's holding back the raiders' breach, it was Judeau who recognized that it was Zod's work, stating that he caught wind of him through a strange rumor before the battle, with his battle assessment that if it really is Zod, Guts would go rushing head first to fight him, and that it wouldn't turn out good, persuading Griffith to lead a regiment of archers to rescue Guts from being torn apart by Zod. Without Judeau's thorough report to Griffith on how Guts and Casca fell over the cliff and the probability of them making it out alive, Griffith would not have made the swift decision to send him with a search party after them. At the Battle of Dodri, he gave an assessment of the fortress and its layouts to Guts. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Judeau who provided Griffith with this info in order to execute a plan to the king with confidence. Not to mention, within a short moment of reflecting on how Griffith can achieve his goal of ruling a kingdom while escorting Guts off, he figured out that Guts and Griffith were likely the instigators to the death of the queen and the king's brother Julius. He instantly recognized Salat's weaponry and informed Guts on how dangerous Chakram can be, pinpointed where a secret passage into the castle was and that a graveyard would be a perfect fit for it. New information regarding the Tower of Rebirth and how it has been used throughout history. Being aware of the love she had for Griffith and that she would do anything for him, organizing and convincing Princess Charlotte to become their double agent, which gave the rescue squad the perfect hostage should they get into a bind. Took note of the amount of soldiers they had to run through after breaking Griffith out of prison. After being attacked twice in the tunnels, recognized they were being attacked by the infamous Bakiraka assassins. Lastly, instantly recognized and had previous information on the Black Dogs Regiment of the Kingdom, warning the group of the danger they were in, en route to meet with the rest of the band. Amassing all this information at the age of 18 years, imagine all the knowledge he would acquire should he had lived to an old age. Damn you, Griffith. Other than his prowess on the battlefield and being a jack of all trades, Judeau was compassionate and selfless, putting many of his comrades' well-being before his own for the betterment of the whole. His ability to assess situations and touchy subjects has allowed him to sway the morale of the band for the better. For example, during the engagement chapter, where he stopped Gaston for interrupting the nobleman who was suggesting to not bother with Guts and Casca, having enough confidence in knowing that Griffith would disregard and ensure that Guts and Casca are important enough to send out a search party, giving him the evidence to pull Casca aside and assure her that Griffith cared about their well-being, even though attending a war council and not being present for their rescue once they were safely back at the camp. Judeau's compassion for those close to him is truly reflected in his relationship with both our protagonists Guts and Casca, being the first after Griffith to extend a hand in friendship to Guts and being a good judge of character, knew he would find his place with the band, making sure that Rickert stopped before mentioning that Griffith was distraught over Guts leaving, leading to his imprisonment. I'd go so far today that after Griffith, Judeau would be Guts' most valued friend, encouraging him to follow his intuition to do what is right for himself. Judeau's counsel and words of wisdom have always swayed Guts in the right direction, more importantly, in the direction of Casca. Speaking of, Judeau's undying faithfulness to Casca, how he meticulously looked out for her well-being physically, mentally, and spiritually, instantly recognizing that she was not feeling well prior to the battle where she fell off the cliff, making excuses for her harsh words towards Guts after their encounter with Zod, being the first on the scene to rescue her from the Tudor thugs ready to have their way with her, recognizing her attitude shift toward Guts after falling off the cliff, so he provided her with the last of his elf dust to dress Guts' wounds personally. He must have been happy to see the battle-hardened Casca finally embrace a softer side of herself for someone other than Griffith. Yet, in the same breath, it must have broke his heart to see her fall for another man other than him right before his eyes, valuing his friendship with both Guts and Casca so much that he would propose them being together, even though he was in love with her the whole time. Witnessing how she struggled between the two men she was enamored with, two men who were selfish enough to not look her way, yet she barely noticed all he had done that deserved her affection. Judeau was there to counsel and maintain her well-being as she took the reins of the band after Guts and Griffith were no longer present. Then having enough courage to not profess his undying love for her in the midst of fighting demon apostles and sacrificing his life to ensure her safety. Judeau is quite frankly my favorite secondary character in not only the Golden Age, but the series itself. Unfortunately, I have yet to find one character in the Black Swordsman party that can match up to what he has done. Not even Serpico, who I consider to be a top-tier character after the Golden Age. Thank you for taking the time to watch my retrospective on Judeau. I really wanted to make this video to honor such an underappreciated character like him, Pippin, and more that most of the fandom seem to overlook in favor of the trifecta of Guts, Griffith, and Casca. If you are new to my channel and are into Berserk, consider subscribing as I love making videos about the lore and suggest you check out my other Berserk-based videos. Of course, if you found this video to your liking, hit that thumbs up, as that would let me know what kind of videos you like to see on the channel. Plus it helps the channel grow. If not, you're more than welcome to thumbs down, but I would ask that you comment below why you felt that way and express what your opposing view is. Either way, I love to engage with all my viewers who comment, so we can build a lasting community on the channel. As always, you know the vibes. It's Kaizoku Sleven. Appreciate you.